again, this time with Roman Dacia, with pre-Roman Dacia, sorry. So if you wonder about this this kind of jewelry made from charcoal, if they were used before the Romans, of course they were used before Romans. Our presentation today, it's about a place called Buridava. It's a place, a Dava fortress, very important place before the Roman conquest of Dacia. And on behalf of my team, I must say to you, all of you, welcome to Buridava. So here is Buridava on the map of today Romania. You can see another place very important for Roman Dacia is Sarmizegetusa Regia this time, the capital of the Dacian kingdom before the Roman conquest. So Buridava is located very close on the river Olt and in the proximity of the salt deposit from Vâlcea. This salt deposit was exploited before in ancient times, and of course they are exploited also today. So you have to know that pre-Roman Dacia was a place very fragmented with a lot of local dynastic center, with the capital, as I told you, located in Sarmizegetusa Regia. And in this particular area of Buridava, you can see the river Olt, and also this is a passage from Muntenia, from the Danube, if you want, to the center of Transylvania. You can see a lot of sites, not only Dacian sites, but also Roman sites because of the salt, of course, because the exploitation of the salt. And this is how Buridava looks today. It's a horseshoe, if you want. Yes, you will see it later. And of course, another pictures of Buridava. They are very magical places to live and to, of course, to research. And this is a model of the terrain. You can see this Buridava. In the center of the horseshoe, you will have the settlement, the Dacian, the pre-Roman settlement. And of course, on the hills of the horseshoe, you will have the terraces in which we have the necropolis. And of course, near to the river Olt, you have also a Roman settlement, which is founded here later in the time of the Roman rule in Dacia. Very important to mention that Buridava was researched from the 60s until the beginning of the 19th by Dumitru Berciu. And on the terrace of the hill, he discovered large necropolis with grave pits cut into the rock of the hill. You can see it, and sometimes with grave goods. Also, today in Buridava, we found something like this, because from 2016, the team from Buridava, it's under the tutelage of Constantin Bărbulescu. This is the research responsible in Buridava. And of course, Buridava is the home of one of the most important objects discovered in pre-Roman Dacia, like this mask, and also an inscription which mentioned Basileus Tiamarchos, probably a local ruler, why not, from Buridava. And of course, we found here many objects related with the Roman Empire, because this center functioned until the beginning of the 2nd century AD. I can say more of this. And probably the chief from Buridava, if I may say so, doesn't want the war with the Romans and continue to make trade with the Romans because they have salt. And probably some of these kind of objects, which are clearly important from the Mediterranean world, comes to Buridava because of this exchange made with salt. Let's see more of this. And of course, recent discoveries, if you want. More recently, in the last few years, we have also a very important grave. And in this grave, we have also a very important artifacts, which is this ring with a gem made of carnelian, with the very rare depictions coming also from the Mediterranean world. And of course, let's start our presentation about the discovery from we are researching today. This is also a grave. This archaeological excavation was made quite recently, and it was dated according to the inventory to the 1st century AD. So again, the place of discovery, one of the terraces of Buridava. You can see here an elevation model of the terrain. Before they made the necropolis here, the Dacians cut the rock of the hill and made terraces. And upon these terraces, they placed the necropolis. Here are the place of the discoveries. And here are also some good pictures with this hill covered in graves. And this is our place of discovery for today. It was a grave. It was a double grave, as you can see. Part of this grave was researched also by the Dumitru Tudor in the 60s, and we don't know for sure what Dumitru Tudor discovers here, but we are sure that it's a grave. In Buridava, double graves are quite common. We know other discoveries of this type. And the most important things is that in this place, in this grave, we have a skeleton of a small child. Why is so important this? Because this child, or in that period, in the 1st century BC, between 1st century BC and the 1st century AD, the researchers have like a gap among the necropolis of the Dacian kingdoms. So either the Dacian becomes immortals, either we have something else, probably they change the funerary rite, they change something, and the necropolis are just the lack of the necropolis is just a lack of research probably in this period. But in Buridava, as I told you, we have this necropolis, and most important, it's a burial necropolis, but also we have this grave with a small child, very small, maybe until 2 years old, we presume. The analyses are currently made by the Romanian Institute, but we want to have also DNA made for this because it's very important, and you will see why. And as I told you, this double burial, it's quite used to it in Buridava because we know about another grave discovered in 1982 and published in 1983 by Dumitru Berciu. It was a place in the 2nd century BC, and in one of the grave was a small child like ours, and in the other was female 35 years old. The burial inventory is scarce, but we know that the child was buried with meat offering, and also around his neck we have 3 amulets of the type of small cauldron. I don't know how to translate it exactly in English. 1 from bronze and 2 from iron, which is very important. And they made also anthropological analysis, and the result was that the female was not related with the infant. And Dumitru Berciu said that probably it was a double burial, and somehow the female was buried with the infant because it was she have like a lower status. Probably it was her nanny. I don't know if it's true, because unfortunately we still don't have, we cannot find the bones. But this kind of double burial, it's quite used in Buridava, probably in the second grave near to our discovery with the child. Probably it could be also another disease, but we don't know because it was excavated by Dumitru Berciu. So this is the inventory in the grave, and because of this inventory, we place this grave in the 1st century AD. What is important is that in this grave, from a part of the inventory is like a small fragments of a sapropelite bracelet, charcoal bracelet. And it is important because this kind of bracelet, we can find it in the Celtic necropolis until the 2nd century BC. But after that, this kind of discovery became more scarce. And this one from Buridava, it's very important. As we know from the discovery of Dumitru Berciu of the double burial, this kind of bracelet must be very important in the Celtic world, and you will see this kind of bracelet accompany the deceased in the grave, mostly in the cases of a child or a woman's. And because it's so late in discovery, we have to look also to the Romans, because the Romans were already across the Danube, very, very near to the people from Buridava. They have a lot of exchanges, cultural exchanges, if you want, doubling the economic ones. And we know that this kind of bracelet, this kind of material was used, as you see also in the previous presentation, for a lot of illness. So it's a part of medical magic, if you want. So it's kind of could be an amulet. And these kind of amulets are quite known also in pre-Roman Dacia, but until the 2nd century BC, as I told you, because after that they became more scarce. Here you have the grave from Fântânele, in which we have a fragment, of sapropelite bracelet. And of course, this is it's not an inhumation grave. This female was cremated and put to rest with all these grave goods, extraordinary grave goods, and among them a sapropelite bracelet and also even a glass bracelet. Another discoveries comes from Ciumeș necropolis, also for Celtic period. You may know the Ciumeș necropolis because of the helmet from Ciumeș, which is very important. It's a Romanian treasure, and also this kind of bracelet, they have been found in the settlements. For this period, the 3rd century until the 2nd century BC, and we have only one cases as far as I know. They are probably imports in pre-Roman Dacia. We know that for this period we have workshops in Bohemia, and probably also our bracelets could come from that area. We don't know because we don't have, we still don't have analysis on this matter. But we are in the 1st century, in the 1st century AD, so we have to know also about the Romans, because probably the discovery of Buridava can link with the general area and also with the Roman Empire. They still use charcoal for bracelet. We know that for the Roman period, the most well-known workshops is in York, but it's much later. But we have also discovery on the line of the Danube coming from that period, 1st century, 2nd century AD, which is the same period with the discovery from Buridava.
5 minutes.
Yes. And more discoveries in Roman period, among them the one from Tomis, which is quite later, but it's still a child. And also in most of the child's graves, we found something like this. To summarize, this is a very important object. This is a personal object, but in the same time is prestige objects, and probably an amulet for the child buried here. It is important because it was this grave is the very important because it's between the fewer inhumation grave found in this period, for this period, before the Roman conquest of Dacia, and it can be attested much older ritual to deposit in these graves this kind of bracelet, but also can be said that probably they have a good relationship with the Roman Empire, and they learn a lot, of course, from them. So thank you for your attention.